Welcome back to Smoke&Steel series. Glad the boys didn't leave any permanent damage. Would have been a shame to stab them so soon into the story. Part 3. The Charming Thief. Salt stings my eyes, the sharp scent of the sea filling my lungs as I jolt awake. Not that I'd been sleeping well. Hard to, when you're bound at the wrists, gagged and thrown into the belly of a ship like an unwanted crate of spoiled wine. A boot slams into my ribs. Not hard enough to break anything, but enough to make a point. Up, you rat, a voice growls. We're here. Here. Skyrim, the word sits sour on my tongue. Of all the wretched places in Tamriel, I had to be sent to this frozen backwater. Someone paid well to get rid of me. Too well. That's the part that still eats at me. You don't throw away something valuable unless you're scared of what happens if you keep it. Rough hands haul me up, dragging me from the hold. My feet barely graze the deck before I'm hoisted again, slung over some broad-shouldered oaf like a sack of grain. The sun blinds me as I'm carried up the gangplank, wind whipping at my tattered clothes. Fine armor traded for rags, my ebony bow and daggers nowhere to be seen. Stolen. Bastards. Should toss her overboard and be done with it, one sailor mutters. Captain says no. She's not our problem once we reach land. No one's waiting for her. Could say she slipped. A chuckle. Might even be a kindness. My hands clench into fists. I'd kill them for this, if I had my blades. If my limbs weren't numb from hours of being bound, I'd...
Oi!
The voice cuts through the wind like a hammer through bone. The sailors halt, and so do I, straining against my bonds to see. The road running along the cliffs isn't empty after all. A man on horseback, a big man, broad-shouldered, built like a battering ram. His dark hair is windswept, his armor well-crafted, worn but well-kept. The horse beneath him is a monster of a beast, practically bred for war, and the way he's looking at them, the casual sort of confidence that only comes from men who win their fights before they start.
Let her go,
he says, voice like grinding stone. The sailors hesitate. Not your concern, friend. He nudges his horse forward as if he will make it jump down, and they shrink back. I
said, put her down.
His voice holds no room for argument.
Not in the water.
Dispra, he adds, as if it needs saying. And just like that, they drop me onto the dirt like an unwanted parcel. I twist my wrists, and the rope gives just enough slack for me to start working at it. He glances at me as I pull the gag out, blue eyes dancing. Winks. Then he's gone, spurring his beast up the road to solitude without another word, leaving me there, sitting in the dust, watching the sailors curse under their breath. I smile. Well, well. One of the sailors turns, muttering about not being paid enough for this, but as he does, I make my move. A slip of fingers, a flick of the wrist, and I lift a pouch of coins from his belt before darting from the docks, rags or no rags. Solitude, grand, gray, cold as a corpse. I don't like it. But beggars, but I am not one, can't be choosers. There's an inn, the Winking Skeever, and it glows warm against the city's stone, a beacon of food, drink, and poor choices. My stomach grumbles in agreement. The gold I lifted from the sailor will do well enough for a meal, but as I push inside, shaking off the chill, I spot a familiar broad-shouldered figure nursing a tankard, like it's a long-lost love. The bounty hunter. He drinks like there's no tomorrow, half a loaf of bread and a roasted hunk of meat untouched before him. His shoulders are relaxed, easy in his own skin. Not some uptight noble, not some green mercenary. This one's been around, and judging by the weight of his coin purse, business has been good. I sidle up near enough to catch snippets of conversation. When he spots me, his smirk curves, slow and lazy. Oh, darling,
Fancy seeing you here.
he drawls.
Didn't take you for the type to buy drinks.
I slide into the chair across from him, tilting my head. Didn't take you for the type to do favors for free, he chuckles, pushing a plate toward me.
Eat. Looks like you need it.
A test? A taunt? Either way, I accept. I eat with the effectiveness of someone who knows what it is to go without, and he watches with amusement. What's your name? I ask between bites.
Robard.
He says.
Rob to some, Storm to others.
Storm. I roll the name over my tongue like a fine wine. Fitting, big guy. He grins.
And you, lass?
I smile, taking my time to finish his food. Barry.
Just Barry?
He hums, lifting his tankard in mock salute.
Well, princess, you owe me a drink.
Maybe. I flick a single stolen coin onto the table. There, my debt's paid. Comes from the pocket of our friend at the docks. He barks a laugh, tossing it to the barkeep. Another round is poured.
Aye, that's what I thought.
A few minutes later, I decide to leave Storm to his mead and head out of the winking skeever. I keep my steps light, my pace unhurried. No one pays attention to someone who looks like they belong, and I always belong, until I decide otherwise. The door swings open just as I reach it, and I step aside, brushing past a man on his way in. Tall, broad-shouldered, his robes are battered and stained with travel. His blonde hair is smoothed back neatly, but the effort does little to soften him. There's something sharp about him, something dangerous. Silver eyes flick toward me for the briefest moment, and it's like staring down the edge of a blade. Then he turns to scan the room with the weight of someone who expects trouble and is more than ready to meet it. A mage, by the look of him, but not the soft kind who studies books and debates theories. No, this one looks like he's fought for every spell he knows. A scar runs over his left eye. For a second I think about it, but no. He carries himself like a man who does not get stolen from. The kind of man who, if you tried, would know the moment your fingers so much as twitched in his direction. I know a bad idea when I see one. People like him mean complications, and I have enough of those already. I turn down the street and disappear into the city before he, or anyone else, decides I'm worth noticing. Solitude at night is quieter, but not silent. There's always someone moving through the streets, some deal being struck, some poor fool stumbling home after one too many drinks. Skyrim may not have asked for me, but it's got plenty of gold just waiting for someone with the right touch. And if today is the worst day I've had in a while, well, that just means tomorrow can only get better. Oh my, things are getting interesting. Like share and subscribe. Darling, it's the polite thing to do, or don't. But I am keeping a list.